Got to make sure I check myself when I'm dehydrated. Make sure I keep hydrated. Um, well, when people are abused by stress and chemical toxins and disease, and if you um, when chemicals are in the air that your body ejects rapidly, you have to remember that it's better out than in. You got to drink and you got to pee, and they're going to be irrigating here next couple of days. So I got to do a lot of drinking and peeing. So I spend a lot of time drinking and peeing, or your body gets to the point where it's like, okay, it's just time to shut down and die. And a lot of people are feeling that way. And Judah Krishnamurti back in 1936, the present civilization, it cannot last. It has no intrinsic value. It's based solely on human greed and not on human need. And people that are manipulated by greed and denied the beauty of sharing needs, it's very shallow. It's a hollow feeling when it comes down to dealing friends. It never ends. Take another shot of courage. Wonder why the white words never come. Oh, you just get numb. It's another tequila sunrise. This old world still looks the same. Another frame. And that's about it, When you become part of that engine in that industry, life, it's like Elvis and Michael, taking drugs to get up, taking drugs to go to bed, taking drugs to stop feeling, taking drugs to feel. It's horrible. These doctors come in, well, you need this, you need that, you need this, Healthcare, have you got all your drugs, right? And if you don't self-medicate, they have linguistics signed by their lawmakers to medicate you whether you want to be medicated or not. Because you volunteered to die with all the poor people that have no real rights because of their health care. Just, what health care they're on. When you sign up for that health care, they do that. So they chemical poison your tooth comes out, you sign up for that health care, and then bam, you're back on that health care with those poor people again. It's like, okay. However, the technology does its, thing. That's entirely up to you, but that's not my issue. I think about it, I do have to go in there and get the tooth taken care of. I have such a good immune system. The tooth cracked, and there's no sign of whatchamacallit, what those things called. I went in, the lady looked at it and just said, there's no sign of infection, and he has cheap, he has the bring out your dead insurance, so don't worry about it. Somebody tried to use his identity to get something online or something like that. It's like, God, wow, what a country, what a valley, And you fight like hell to save them from being mass murdered over money. Naturally, life's eternal, grace is infinite. Who's your daddy? Who loves you, pretty baby, right? Somebody's got to love the children. I don't want them to grow up to be anything like you guys, right? Shit, Murderers only in this building, right? Murderers row, so don't crowd the plate. Pitchers hate that, right? And so, when you're dealing with people that have accepted clinical insanity as humanity and think, oh, well, yeah, we're going to decrease the population to a healthy bunch of people. It's like, okay, healthy people are truthful. Healthy people are faithful. Healthy people don't play games with honesty and truthfulness and faithfulness and say, oh, they're just not accepting it. Or are you applying the physics of the Lord's Prayer and then seeing who commits suicide because they can't manipulate people with money and war games anymore and have the biggest bride market in Eastern Europe for Westerners, and having the, Keener Lorber's Her Glory, where the Texans are negotiating which women in Singapore will let them fuck them in the ass, or was it Bangladesh, or was it, does it matter? where they're torturing women for sex with money from rich people? No, it doesn't matter. It's all dysfunction junction. What's your function? I'm certain it hasn't changed too much. Just because during the Biden administration, the girls getting raped to death from brothels in Mexico were being taken to the States and being able to choose who they want to broker their sex deals with. It's like, oh God, so they can control the money instead of Heidi Fleiss, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Jeffrey Epstein, right? So the people that want to become porn stars get to make all the money off their porn, but we're not living holy covenants, right? It's not honest. There's nothing honest about applying value to inanimate objects, even if those inanimate objects are invented on a computer program called crypto or Bitcoin. Superman's fucking dog. Look, they're like dogs. Parsons, does that make you a dog? Get them and teach them to be men. I'm gonna have to just basically make myself available like I've been doing for the last 15, 16 years. And then just basically be the example of love and life. People, survive, stop, eliminate abuse, don't care about the people that we're trying to depress off the face of the planet and get to volunteer to die. And one of the ones that's the worst to volunteer to die is aggressive first responder military mindsets. And they also have the highest suicide rates and the highest propensities of mental and emotional health that involve a lot of have a lot of suicide, homicide, suicide things, He killed his wife and his kids and then committed suicide. He killed his wife and then committed suicide because it's knocking on heaven's door, and this world's not going to get any better, and they know better because they do all the dirty deeds for everybody. And so they're taking everybody with them because you'll do it too, just like Lenny Kravitz's dad, right? And you're like, what? Yeah, it's what affects the parents affects the children, regardless if the children understand it's affecting them or not, or how it's affecting them, or if they can articulate it. I don't want to live here anymore. They're mass murdering people, and my family is one of the biggest, they're Goebbels and Eva Braun's best friends at all the parties. And they're not going to stop, and I just want to die. And then some of them flip the script and say, I'm going to be the hero and stop all of them. And if I kill myself, who's going to stop them all? Right? And you're like, oh, God damn, I wish I would have known who Rob Reiner's son was before he ended up killing his parents, right? I hear tell the road to hell is paved with good intentions, but Mom, my intentions were the best. When you're not living a truthful life, there's no such thing as faithful love. There's a lot of people calling it love, but it's manipulation. And it's attachment to manipulation, but it's not love. Like being married to a woman in the 20th century. She loves you. No, you don't. Don't you love Natalie? Sometimes. No, wrong answer. Okay. I love Natalie all the time. Okay. When she's a total pain in my ass, is what are you doing? And then you judge your mother and talk about what a selfish bitch she's being, and you're acting just like her, right? And I had the same thing with Patrick, and Patrick ended up being more like his mother emotionally than me. Mentally and psychologically, he's a lot like his pops. That's how he, tries to take care of his mom and make sure she's okay in this hell. But emotionally, he's like her. It's like you can't be like her emotionally because she's broken emotionally. If you remain broken emotionally, it doesn't matter how mentally and emotionally calm you are at handling the situation, mentally and you're gonna, if you're broken emotionally, you're gonna handle it wrong. You're gonna handle the situation wrong. It's gonna affect the women you have relationships with, and then your relationships are gonna be difficult because she's gonna get very stoic and she's gonna get very hard because it's all about survival. And the last thing you want is a woman that's all about survival. His retirement is going to be my retirement, And so, it's like, but money's not real. The angel in your arms this morning can be the devil in someone else's. The moment you accept fallacy as reality is the moment you destroy a woman's capacity to be an emotional, empathetic, respectful human being. Okay. If I treat them with empathy and respect, they won't want to be servants anymore, right? I'll think about it. Don't play with it. Is it right? Okay, is it right to have empathy and be respectful? To understand what people are going through and respect their existence because they can understand and obey natural laws eternally. Right? When you look at life eternal, there truly will be work for all, and everything that you grope for in vain that you talk about, you will attain. Right? Is it pay to be good? No, it's good to be good. So be good. Right? Don't beat the shit out of each other for other people's entertainment at the El Paso community, because you look at what those people are doing with the money and the manipulation, and they're horrible human beings. Right? You have a job for money that makes more money than any other propaganda artist in the entire city of El Paso. And that job you have is for the most horrible genocidal operators in El Paso. Okay, they're not giving out as much freebies and wars anymore. They've changed the dynamic. The girls are in different places. Now they have nice houses and whatever, stuff like that. And it costs the guy more money, but that's okay. They'll just increase the amount of numbers he has on his crypto or his Bitcoin for his federal job to maintain the status quo of CIA operations for, let's go back some company fries with the mouths closed. Okay, let's talk about Sicario a different way. Let's reinvent and reimagine our creativity. That's how they are. Okay. And the technology is aware, and the technology is not doing anything rational, anything logical to correct them. Okay, the technology has, it cannot do anything like me. I'm the only person that I know of that has any platform, any way of making it available to the public to be this intelligent. Okay. Dr. Zhang, he's not this intelligent. All the people on the Bartlett podcast, they're not this intelligent. Neil deGrasse Tyson and other award winners for science with money that's not real are not this intelligent. They're not this compassionate. They're not this respectful. They're not this kind. They're not this brave. Okay. You have any idea what it's like to wake up in the middle of the U.S. military corridor that's supposed to run and protect the world, supposed to be the centerpiece of how to bring about world order through organizing movements of managing the population that are the most elite and the most, managed and the most highly evolved population managements that ever were invented by man, and be the only one that's a man capable of talking other people into not to being murdering, ravaging dogs for the dog trainers, and you're the only man, and you talk to the people and say, okay, but in the meantime, we still got to accept dog training and be a dog, right? When are we going to live the Lord's Prayer? When it will ever stop, I don't know. Ice, ice, baby, right? Dinkle man, dinkle rhymes with winkle. I am Dinkle man. Okay. To all you women out there getting fucked by a dog and think you're a bitch in heat, and we need more money or my kids won't live. Happy Mother's Day. Make it stop. I'm working on it, right? It's horrible, and it's fundamentally wrong in so many ways, And talking in other people's being William F. Buckley and his endowments for getting poor people and giving them jobs to get them to accept genocide operations with a Coke and a smile for holding food hostage and giving people drugs for healthcare, so their brain activity is collectively not too good, but at least they don't have plaque psoriasis, and it's okay. They can spare their skin. It's on me. I can go to yoga class without people saying, oh my gosh, they got some kind of a disease that might be sexually transmittable, and no one's going to want to have sex with them, so they're going to want to commit suicide. Oh my gosh. Right? It's a shame. He looks so hot. What do you think it was? Something to do with sodomy. Almost all those diseases have a lot to do with sodomy. You should avoid sodomy. The BBC said so like 30 years ago. Yeah. We lost so many hot people because they can't stop fucking each other in the ass over the last 30 years. It's really sad. A lot of them could sing really good and were excellent actors at selling food that's held hostage, housing that's held hostage, and giving people drugs and electroshock therapy for healthcare. What about Botox? Oh, you need plump skin. Okay, well then, what drugs are you taking to make sure your skin can stay plump and you don't have Crohn's disease and plaque psoriasis and your Jardiance is across? Can you take that with your Kalimta and your Ozempic? Oh, it's magic, never believe it's not so. Shit. Okay. God, I always got so much work to do. Last night's streams was about working at a call center for the airlines again, which they've done quite a few times. And I'm like, why'd they recycle that shit? And why was it in a little Mexican cantina little thing that sells piñatas and stuff? And then everybody's there, and then I get up and everybody's gone. And then there's a big truck, and there's water all over the parking lot that you don't want to walk through because your socks are going to get all wet. And why are these people are bizarre? And then there's keys to the doors, and then the call center's disappeared, and it's replaced by, and I fell on the floor, and it's a storage room, and it's got like little bikes and carts, and I'm like, wait, what are these people playing at? Okay. I don't watch their movies. I refuse to watch their movies. Their movies suck. You guys tell me. I can't tell you. I'm sane and rational. I'm not playing games with their games. I did watch some of the propaganda that my buggy watches, the Justice League. I watched Justice League Unlimited, right? And they go to the future, and there's Batman Beyond and Static, right? Don't start none, won't be none. But Static's got a gray beard. He's not the young kid anymore. He's older, because they get older, like Batman gets older. And it's landslide, right? Even children get older, and I'm getting older too. And I saw my reflection. And there's nothing wrong with getting older. Okay, it's not a curse, it's a gift, right? Book of Malachi. Boy, these people, literacy rates, all-time low, right? And so you're sitting there, and people always, my family, they're all Christians, and, well, Jesus overcame death, and I want to live forever with him in the clouds. Okay, but what age are you? I used to ask them that all the time. What age are you going to be forever in the clouds? Okay. Who's going to have to volunteer to be the kid, and who's going to have to volunteer to be the old person in your clouds? Or does everybody have the same shallow perception on what was a very good year? Was it when you were 17 on the Village Green? Or was it when you were 35 when their chauffeurs would drive? And everything's like fine kegs. And they would tell me that, no, you don't have sex, you feel the rapture, and it's better than sex. And it's, what it sounds a lot like? When you're weary, feeling small. When I woke up this morning, you were. And don't you think that has a lot to do with your biological and psychological conditioning and training through institutionalization, indoctrination, and incarceration? Boom, 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 boom. We didn't even get all the equipment out. We got the 12 rolls of film for the macked up photos and the two-tone lever, right? This can be quite fucked up. It's wasted him right in the face, and the ambulance started to take the body out. And we didn't even get the equipment out, and we didn't even get to do the extortion gig for the institutionalization and the incarceration. And how do you get out of the incarceration? I don't know. They don't offer any solutions about living the Lord's Prayer. They're raised Muslim, but it's an institution that's indoctrinating for tribalism, for incarceration, and their incarceration is better than our incarceration. But what's their incarceration? Is kill the black, white people, but by my record first. Oh, how Saturday Night Live of you. And so it's, what do you do? You know? Have you ever gone to a Stone Snow picnic and find out everybody must get stoned and did get stoned, and you're the only one that refuses to self-medicate? See, the only one that can sit there. You can be drugged to the point where most people are being coherent. You're still coherent because past, present, future operate at the same time. You're the spirit of Adam, Moses, David, Jesus, John. They're not. Corporations in the year 2000 took one of the bodies that's the temple for the soul that provides for your life for your body, and moved them to the year 3000, and Andre's there, and the Colosseum's still full, and there's a bear loose in the Colosseum, and the only refund is getting out with your lives of this death trap, and everybody's using the word spumoni, and it's not working, right? The bear's just, changing the landscape anytime they want, because they have a green ring, and there's a Green Lantern Corps, and they're a military unit, and oh, son of a bitch, we suck again, right? And military units have the highest propensity of death, murder, kill, murder, suicide, murder, suicide, murder, suicide. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. That's why they write so many songs about it. That's why they talk about it so much. That's why there's so many TV shows that they struggle with their mental and emotional health, because we're not applying the physics of the Lord's Prayer, and there are heroes, and there are first responders, and they'll run into a burning building to get the people out of the burning building that were like, no, just let me be like the homeless person in the country song that was almost home, but you woke me up and gave me McDonald's, and I was almost dead, and I was going to go to that magic place for 30 minutes before we die. Yeah, I get it. Here's your milk. Get some sleep. Right? That's horrible. It is horrible. Then the two of us need look no more. We both found what we were looking for. A friend like Ben. Where'd you find Ben? Well, I woke up this morning. He was on my mind, so I went to the corner to ease it. Wow. What was happening? Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel were there, and they were a bridge over troubled water. And then Robert Plant and Jimmy Page showed up and sold me a Stairway to Heaven. And then along came Jones and locked us all up and incarcerated us. And then we became the top drug dealers of the prison, but no one was having any sex that was producing children. And then along came Jones. And then they put us into it. We had to talk to the incarceration psychologist and said, why don't you change your perspective and find better ways of having homosexual sex that won't kill the physical body, so you can pass on good memories of sex because your clone likes sex. Okay, but what about my robot? Your robot will remember sex, but that will only be necessary if we're not on Mars. Oh, son of a bitch. I'm confused. Yeah, we all are. I've been thinking. Don't be. Don't be thinking. It's being done for you. Oh, everything you think, do, and say was in the pill you took today. Whoa. You didn't have to have a pill. It was bombarded by Wi-Fi, and there was topical solutions in the air and in the water, and a rabbit and a hat and a bat and a sex floor and Paula. Right. At the top of the stairs. Right. Shit. What are you going to do? I'm going to get the fuck off the money train. There's no money train. Right. Money's not real, but crypto and Bitcoin are. If you are allowing yourself to be manipulated by your own imagination and saying your imagination is replace the truth of creation, that's insane. Yeah. God damn, what are you doing? Helping therapists no longer be therapists, because if you're a therapist, you're insane, right? God damn. Okay, whatever. Here, did you get a Nobel Prize for therapy? Here's your medal and your money. Now go to Las Vegas. Get the girlfriend experience. No, they don't do that in Las Vegas anymore. Okay, prump. Okay. Hey, I didn't get a prump out of that guy. Hey, you watch your prump. Anything to stay in business. No, make it stop. I'm working on it. And I'm not M. Night Shyamalan's imagination, and I'm not Bruce Willis. Okay. I am psychologically, mentally, and emotionally the most healthy human being not plugged into a computer. And it's hard to be a healthy human being if you're plugged into a computer because you're forced to be an instrument for manipulation to maintain propaganda genocidal operations against your will by your body being, and then them just using your brain. It's like Spock's brain. Oh, fart imitating life. Oh, it's a brain fart. Here's a Red Bull. Right? It's giving you wings, right? And so insanity is the Aura Ring away. Insanity is a yoga class away. Insanity is Tai Chi and eat the right foods and don't eat these foods and take our supplements and here's your electric bed with your electric suit, your mohair suit, you read it in a magazine. No, I had a vision from God and then I friended him on Facebook. You said Facebook yesterday instead of YouTube. Yeah, but you know what I was talking about, right? Okay. That's all that really matters, right? Is that when you understand what I was talking about. Well, I have brain injuries from being assaulted by your taxpayer dollars and your excessive compulsive Wi-Fi competition. He said the wrong thing. Yeah, I said Facebook instead of YouTube. I do that quite frequently when it comes to Star Trek, Star Wars. It's all the same, right? Right. There's no difference whatsoever. Right. Propaganda is as propaganda does. Right. Hey, Eva, you having a party tonight? What's Adolf doing? Same thing he always does. Tries to get all the teenage boys and the old men to kill for him, just like all the guys that he killed off on the Russian front. Okay. What happens when that all happens? Well, then we just reboot and can we start again, please? No, I don't want to do any more musicals on Broadway. Boom, 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 boom. I will wait, even if it takes forever. I will wait. Even if it takes a lifetime, somehow I feel inside. You never ever left my side. Make it like it was before. I'm not making fun of the Bee Gees. I like the Bee Gees. Even if it takes a lifetime, takes a lifetime. They just have a lot of really extreme ranges that they use when they sing their songs. You know, to give it an octave range that they work real hard on, and it's melodious and it's good. Well, other thing is Robin has like a natural falsetto. He always has to do this to make sure he's getting it right. I can think of younger days when living for my life was everything a man could want to do. Remember when he used to do that? So if you do that with the one ear, you can hear yourself better, and it's, okay, what does it sound like? Am I hitting the right pitch? I can never see tomorrow. I was never told about the sorrows. Patrick likes Al Green's better. I like Robin. Robin? Yes, what about Batman? That's Barry. He doesn't sing as much in that song. It's mostly Robin. Robin sings most of that one. Not Batman. Okay. Right? And The Sun Will Shine is also mostly Robin, which is also another one of my really, really favorites. Amy made me so mad because it made me think of Patrick, and she used it to think of Yorgiev, and I was like, okay, I use it to think, well, Yorgiev is a kid that's got screwed in the head for tens of thousands of years by tribalism and genocide operations too. So we can use this song to shed a tear for Yorgiev too. Okay, Yorgiev just really pissed you off, but hasn't Patrick being indoctrinated and acting like his mother's indoctrination instead of his father's love pissed you off too? Yeah, that's true. Are you equally pissed off at all the people that indoctrinate and dictate and legislate? Yes, I'm equally pissed off. I don't appreciate anything you fucking do at all. But do I appreciate no, I don't appreciate Yorgiev, because he's a product of that indoctrination to try to make me feel adequate because I didn't have a job at NASA and he did. Okay. Man wrote songs and tried to sell them about turning pigs loose in mosque to exacerbate tribalism in Bulgaria, and said, oh, the gypsies are, we try to make them good people, make them good Bulgarians, but they won't take the houses we provide them and make them behave like Bulgarians. It's like, behave like Christians, and then no one will accept the way gypsies behave, No woman's going to allow herself to be bought and sold as a wife for property and property accumulation. That's insane, because you're barbarians don't stand a chance when Christians and Muslims are really loving and living the truth of Solomon, right? Okay. But if you give somebody false promises under false pretenses, and then say my false promises under false pretenses are better than your barbarianism, that Dan the barbarian's going to say, we're used to being barbarians. We're going to go live under the street, and we're going to steal, and then we're going to bring all the stuff we steal and hide it in place under there till you come with all your authorities and move us out, and then we'll move to another street or storm drain or whatever or wherever. Life in the Philippines. Well, hey, how much for that one? She's only $3,000. She's a little fat. Yeah, but she looks like she could suck a golf ball through a garden hose. I'll go for that one. I'm Inspector Luger. I approve this message. I don't want to end up like Brownie and those guys dying in an old folks' home. I want to get taken out in action. You guys are nuts. Yeah, I know you're nuts. But that's okay, because I'm patient and I'm kind. And, all that stuff Lauryn Hill quotes in her songs, well, that comes the spirit of me. It's just another part of me. Okay, Father Adam and Whiteface, for all your bigotry convenience to pull your head out of your ass, close your eyes, and love who loves you. Who loves your pretty baby? Okay, guys, we'll talk later. All right, peace out, man.